Let's get real. Most of us work hard, pay our bills and save a little, but true wealth always feels out of reach. That cycle of anxiety every time you check your bank account, it's exhausting. But what if there's a proven, quiet plan that can turn your paychecks into real wealth in just 5 years? No lottery tickets, no flashy cars, just a methodical blueprint that works for regular people. It's about smart investing and building a side hustle, creating a future where money isn't your main worry. In this video, you'll meet Alex, a guy who broke free from the paycheck-to-paycheck grind using this exact plan. We'll break down his 5-year strategy, step by step, so you can start building your own quiet abundance. Ready to stop just getting by? Subscribe to the channel and let's dive into the 5-year plan that turns paychecks into wealth, quietly. Meet Alex, a regular project manager with a decent salary and a comfortable life. But behind the scenes, his money vanished into bills, debt, and the rising cost of living. He felt trapped, watching his net worth barely budge, wondering what secret others knew. One day, staring at a spreadsheet, he realized his future was just more of the same unless he changed. No dramatic event, just a slow-burning dissatisfaction and the decision to take control. Alex saw the system was built to keep him running in place, never truly owning his future. The fear of staying stuck outweighed the fear of change. He decided to build his own system, one that worked for him, not against him. That was the start of his quiet revolution. Alex became a student of wealth, studying how ordinary people built fortunes. He found a pattern. Wealth comes from making your money work for you and creating new income streams. The first pillar, investing in broad market index funds, simple, steady, and powerful through compounding. The second, a side hustle. Alex used his project management skills to consult for small businesses. It started small, but every extra dollar went straight into his investments. This two-part strategy, side hustle for offense, investing for defense, became his 5-year mission. He wasn't just earning, he was building a system where his money and effort worked for him. The blueprint was simple, but it required a new mindset. Alex was ready to change, and that made all the difference. The plan was set. Now, it was time to build. Before Alex invested $1, he had to update his mindset. Your beliefs about money shape your financial reality. If you think wealth isn't for you, you'll sabotage yourself. Alex realized his old beliefs were holding him back, built from years of cultural and family programming. He had to tear down those mental barriers and build a new foundation. The real work started with identifying and challenging his limiting beliefs. He wrote them down, faced them, and decided they weren't facts, just outdated stories. The first step wasn't opening an account. It was opening his mind to possibility. That shift made everything else possible. Alex didn't just spot his limiting beliefs, he replaced them. For every negative thought, he created a new, empowering belief. When his mind said, "Investing is too risky," he countered with facts about long-term, diversified investing. He shifted from envy to curiosity, asking, "What can I learn from successful people?" This mental reframing turned the world into a library of strategies, not a gallery of things he couldn't have. He curated his information diet, focusing on stories and resources that reinforced his new mindset. Take your biggest limiting belief and rewrite it. Every dollar I invest, no matter how small, is a step toward wealth. Say it, write it, repeat it. Repetition builds belief. Over time, you'll overwrite the old code and start creating new outcomes. You're not just hoping for change, you're rewiring your brain to make it happen. This process naturally led Alex to building unshakable financial confidence. Confidence is a byproduct of competence, like learning to drive. The world of finance is the same. Alex's fear came from ignorance, so he committed to learning. using free resources to fill the gaps in his knowledge. The same principle applied to his side hustle. Instead of letting fear paralyze him, he broke it down into tiny, manageable steps. It built momentum. Confidence is forged in the fire of actually doing it. This is the ultimate antidote to financial anxiety. Action fueled by education. Alex's journey to confidence was a gradual accumulation of knowledge and courageous actions. He went from a fearful passenger to a confident pilot of his own financial destiny. All right, let's get into the first engine of Alex's wealth-building machine. The stock market. For most people, hearing that phrase conjures up images of frantic traders or some crypto bro losing his life savings on a meme stock. It feels complicated, risky, and designed for insiders. He saw it as a high-stakes poker game where he was the tourist about to get fleeced by the pros. But here's the secret he uncovered. You don't have to play that game. In fact, for long-term wealth building, you absolutely shouldn't. The goal isn't to be a stock picker. The goal is to be an owner. The stock market, at its core, is not a casino. It's a collection of the world's most powerful and profitable businesses. When you buy a stock, you're buying a tiny sliver of ownership in that actual business. If that business does well over time, grows its profits, innovates, expands, the value of your ownership slice goes up. The fatal mistake most beginners make is treating it like a lottery, trying to guess which company will explode next week. That's gambling. Alex's blueprint was about investing, which is the disciplined act of buying into the long-term success of the entire economy. Alex had to completely reframe his understanding of risk. The real risk, he realized, wasn't being in the market. It was not being in the market. It was leaving his money sitting in a savings account where it was guaranteed to lose purchasing power to inflation year after year. It was about hitching his wagon to the most powerful engine of wealth creation in history, human ingenuity, and capitalism. He decided to stop standing on the sidelines watching the train go by, and instead bought a ticket and got on board for the long haul. It's a simple yet profoundly powerful shift in perspective. Alex's strategy was beautifully simple and a little bit boring, which is exactly why it worked so well. He embraced the power of index funds. An index fund is like a pre-made investment pizza. A broad market index fund, like one that tracks the S&P 500, holds stock in the 500 largest companies in the United States. This strategy immediately solved the fear of picking the wrong stock and the fear of not knowing enough. He just needed to make one decision to bet on the overall success of the American economy. This is called passive investing, driven by the unstoppable force of compound growth, creating a snowball of wealth that grows bigger and faster over time. They do nothing. Every single month, he would contribute a set amount of money into a low-cost, broad market index fund. That's it. He was the market. Now, having a great strategy is one thing, but executing it consistently for 5 years through all of life's ups and downs is another. This is where Alex implemented a genius move that every single person watching this can and should do. He automated everything. He didn't rely on willpower or remembering to make his investments each month. He set up an automatic transfer from his checking account to his brokerage account for the day after he got paid. The money was invested before he even had a chance to think about it or be tempted to spend it on something else. He was paying his future self first, on autopilot. This simple act of automation is a psychological masterstroke. It takes the emotion and decision-making out of the equation. We are wired to feel the pain of loss more acutely than the pleasure of gain, a concept called loss aversion. When you have to manually click the buy button during a market downturn, every instinct in your body will scream no. But when the purchase happens automatically in the background, you sidestep that fear entirely. You continue to execute your perfect, rational plan even when your irrational lizard brain is telling you to run for the hills. Alex was essentially building a system that was smarter and more disciplined than he was. This automation also reinforces the long-term mindset. By setting it and forgetting it, you're less likely to check your portfolio every day, which is one of the worst things you can do for your financial and mental health. The market fluctuates daily. It's a noisy, chaotic environment in the short term. Obsessively watching it is like weighing yourself after every sip of water. It's meaningless data that will drive you crazy. Alex committed to checking his portfolio only once a quarter. This gave him enough information to ensure his plan was on track, but prevented him from making rash decisions based on the market's daily mood swings. He was focused on the 5-year destination, not the turbulence during the flight. So, the blueprint for stock market investing is clear and actionable. First, shift your mindset from gambler to owner. Second, use low-cost, broad market index funds as your primary vehicle. Third, and most critically, automate your contributions so the system runs without your emotional interference. This is how Alex took the intimidating world of the stock market and transformed it into his personal, silent, wealth-building partner. It worked tirelessly for him in the background, compounding day and night, forming the bedrock of his financial transformation while he moved on to the second part of his blueprint. Let's talk about the side hustle. It's the offensive strategy to generate cash flow, accelerating your financial plan. Investing your salary has limits. A new income source? Unlimited potential. Don't invent the next Uber. List your professional skills and passions. The intersection is your sweet spot. Leverage your expertise. Package your high-value skills for a new market. What problem do you solve daily? Monetize your skills on your terms. The next hurdle is the time excuse. I'm already exhausted. Alex became a master of time management and ruthless prioritization. He got strategic with the 24 hours he had. He realized time was leaking away into low-value activities like social media. He performed a time audit, tracking where every hour went. The results were eye-opening. He discovered pockets of found time and decided to reclaim that time. He protected his weekends, too, often dedicating Saturday morning to his side hustle. This requires you to be honest about how you use your time and to make conscious choices. Alex decided that he was willing to make sacrifices. In the beginning, Alex's side hustle was just him trading his time directly for money. He was a freelancer, getting paid by the hour for his consulting work. This was a fantastic start and provided the initial cash flow surge he needed. But he quickly realized that this model had a hard ceiling. There are only so many hours in a day, and to truly build wealth, he needed to detach his income from his time. The ultimate goal wasn't just to have a second job, but to build a second business, a system that could potentially generate revenue even when he wasn't actively working. This is the key transition from a simple side gig to a true asset. His first step towards scalability was to productize his service. Instead of just offering open-ended hourly consulting, he started creating defined packages. For example, he created a project kickstart package for a fixed price, which included a specific set of deliverables like a project plan, a risk assessment, and a communication timeline. This was brilliant for 2 reasons. First, clients loved the clarity and predictable cost. Second, it allowed Alex to become incredibly efficient. After creating the package for a few clients, he had a template. He could deliver the same high-quality result in less time, effectively increasing his hourly rate without the client ever knowing. The next level of scale was to leverage technology. Alex started documenting all his processes, creating checklists, templates, and video tutorials that explained his project management methodology. Initially, he used these just for himself to be more efficient. But then he had a breakthrough idea. he could package this knowledge into a digital product, an online course or a toolkit that he could sell. This was the holy grail of scalability. He could create the asset once, and it could be sold an infinite number of times to clients all over the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with no additional time investment from him per sale. This transformation from active freelancer to business owner is the pinnacle of side hustle mastery. It's about shifting your mindset from "how can I sell my time" to "how can I build a system that sells a result." Not every side hustle needs to become a fully automated, passive income stream. But by constantly thinking about systems, efficiency, and leverage, you can dramatically increase your earning potential beyond what your personal hours can support. Alex's journey shows that what starts as a simple plan to monetize a skill can evolve into a powerful, scalable business that becomes a cornerstone of your wealth-building empire. Is the two-engine approach of investing and a side hustle just a nice theory, or does it actually work for regular people? Let's look at the data. A 2019 University of Texas study looked at millionaires and found that 62% reported having multiple income streams, with side businesses contributing to wealth accumulation. Side hustles are an accelerator, generating surplus capital for investments. This creates a feedback loop. Side hustle funds investments, and investments grow net worth. The data confirms that additional income streams are a differentiator between those who stay stuck and those who build wealth. The data is compelling. Seeing a real-life example can make the concept click. Let's look at Kevin Hart. He embodies the philosophy of turning hustle into an empire. He treated his comedy as his first business. Early in his career, he was building his own brand. He used the income from his stand-up to fund bigger tours, reinvesting in himself. That relentless hustle was his first engine. He took the massive income from his comedy and film career and immediately put it to work in his second engine: investing and ownership. He launched his own production company, Heartbeat Productions, turning himself from an actor for hire into an owner and producer. He became a venture capitalist, taking the money from his primary hustle and deploying it into a vast portfolio of businesses. This is the exact same principle we've been talking about, just with more zeros at the end. He understood that true wealth isn't just about having a high-paying job, even if that job is being a movie star. It's about taking the earnings from that job and building a diversified, resilient empire of assets. So, we've seen the academic proof in the study of millionaires, and we've seen the high-profile proof in the career of Kevin Hart. Now, let's tie it all together and understand why this two-engine blueprint of investing and side hustles is so profoundly effective. It works because it creates a powerful synergy where each part of the plan makes the other part stronger. It's not just addition, it's multiplication. Your investing strategy is supercharged by the extra capital from your side hustle. And your side hustle is more effective because the pressure is off. Your core investments are already building a foundation of security for you. Think about it. If you only invest from your salary, your growth is limited by your company's raise schedule and your ability to cut expenses. It's a slow, steady, but often frustratingly long journey. On the other hand, if you only focus on a side hustle without a solid investing plan, you might fall into the trap of lifestyle creep, where your new income gets absorbed by a bigger house or a fancier car, leaving you with little to show for it in terms of actual net worth. You're just running faster on a more luxurious treadmill. The magic happens when these two strategies work in concert. The blueprint systematically addresses the biggest obstacles to wealth creation. Worried about risk in the stock market? The extra income from your side hustle creates a psychological and financial buffer, making it easier to stomach market volatility. Worried about your side hustle failing? Your automated long-term investments are still quietly working in the background, ensuring you're always making progress. It's a system that builds both wealth and resilience. Alex was able to take bigger, smarter risks with his side business precisely because he knew his retirement savings were safely compounding away, independent of his entrepreneurial efforts. Each engine provides air cover for the other. Ultimately, this 5-year plan is about taking control. It's a declaration that you will no longer be a passive participant in your own financial life. You are building your own economy with your own rules. The stock market becomes your silent partner for long-term growth, and the side hustle becomes your active tool for short-term acceleration. By combining the patient, defensive power of compounding with the aggressive, offensive power of new income generation, you create a holistic system that is far more powerful and resilient than either strategy on its own. This is the proof. This is the plan. And this is how ordinary paychecks are quietly transformed into extraordinary wealth. Let's talk about the payoff. After 5 years of rewiring his mindset, automating investments, and grinding on his side hustle, what did life look like for Alex? The wins were quiet and subtle. The first victory was the absence of financial anxiety. A surprise car repair bill landed, and instead of panic, he calmly transferred money from his emergency fund. When his company announced layoffs, he felt concern for colleagues but not terror. His investments and consulting business built a fortress of security. This was freedom. It was the ability to say yes to donations, book spontaneous trips, and push back on bad ideas at work. This is the true treasure, a fundamental change in your relationship with the world. It was the quiet confidence of knowing he had built a resilient, secure life. As Alex moved past the 5-year mark, his thinking shifted from accumulation to legacy. Legacy is the impact that outlasts your own life. It's about the values and opportunities you pass down. He realized the most important thing he could give his children wasn't just money, but the knowledge he had fought so hard to acquire. He started having open conversations with his kids about money as a tool for building a good life. He wasn't just planning to leave them a fish. He was teaching them how to fish. His wealth became a resource for creating positive change and community building. It was about transforming a life into one of quiet confidence and purpose. He had built more than a fortune. He had built a future for his family. We've journeyed from quiet desperation, trapped on a treadmill, to a life of quiet confidence and freedom. We've unpacked a simple, powerful, and proven 5-year plan. It starts with a radical mindset shift, deleting old programming and installing a new operating system of abundance. This is the foundation upon which everything else is built. The plan deploys 2 powerful engines: the stock market, tamed through low-cost index funds, and the side hustle, where you become an active creator of income. This shortens the time it takes to reach your goals. The 5-year plan is a call to action. Stop being a spectator and start being the architect of your financial life. Will you take the first step? Take that courageous step. Remember, this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice. It is important to conduct thorough research and consult with financial professionals before making any investment decisions. The value of investments can fluctuate, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Always assess your risk tolerance and investment goals before allocating your capital. If you found value today, I highly recommend watching my next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to leave your comment below, especially if this video made you think differently. I appreciate your support more than you know. Until next time, stay consistent, stay patient, and stay winning. See you in the next one, Money Magician.